The stock market's hitting record highs, and the party is bigger and better than ever, and things are just fantastic. Ha, being sarcastic. You know what? I've mentioned this before, but what I mean by that is that this dystopia we're in just keeps growing. That's what I'm actually referring to. Now, for some context, when I was a kid, I actually imagined a lot in my mind about this time frame that we're in and in the future. I thought about the future a lot. I did a lot of strange things as a kid. I imagined entire realities. Like I would create entire cities in my head. I would draw maps of these cities. I would imagine entire worlds. And it was something that was really fulfilling to me to create these realities in my mind. And I literally remember, drawing out these massive detailed maps with every street and every building of cities and where everything would be. My point is that, back then I really thought by now we would be in an actual, like, kind of a utopia. I really thought we would have like free energy, we would have flying cars, uh, we would have basically, unlimited resources of all kinds. And, but then again, all the movies from back in those days, even though quite exaggerated, of course, they kind of planted the seed in the collective of this time frame as in actuality becoming a dystopia instead of that vision of a beautiful future. Now, it doesn't mean that can't still become that at some point. I don't know. But as of right now, we're living in a parasite that grows perpetually and is just this relentless monster that cannot stop feeding off of everything. And you feel its energy every single year. You feel this energy. Like, if you're intuitive enough, you could actually sense the presence of this parasitic energy in the atmosphere around you. It's a real, tangible thing. It's not just a product of our minds. Okay. So that's what I mean when I say in my community post, the party keeps going. I mean that sarcastically. The parasitic machine of death keeps going instead of what I had hoped to see by this time. And I certainly think there were timelines like that where it did turn out that way, just like we envisioned what it would be like as kids. But for whatever reason, we're not in it. Anyway, I'm just blabbering at this point. The dream was really weird and detailed. I was in South Korea and I was on the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. And I'm like driving down this road back and forth through this zone, and I'm watching North Koreans on the other side of the DMZ I'm watching them, North Korean soldiers, build this like massive fortress on the wall of the DMZ, or they're building this wall. So that I've seen watching them start off with barbed wire, this really tall barbed wire, and then behind that is this massive brick wall. And I'm just staring at them, watching them build this wall, and they're staring back at me in the most sinister of gazes. Hey, Chance. And so like I'm like talking to somebody. I'm like, okay, we need to get in there. Like we need to get into this place and we need to rescue people. Was like kind of the vibe I was getting in the dream. And this the whole atmosphere was of like this almost panic because they're building this giant open air prison, which North Korea already is a giant open air prison, unfortunately. And they keep threatening the South. And actually, before I continue with the dreams, hey, Loyalty, there was actually more leaked documents indicating that North Korea does actually plan on attacking the South fairly soon. So it's pretty interesting. I'm having this dream. So what we decide to do is we build a tunnel, kind of like the drug cartels build tunnels between Mexico and America. So we build this tunnel deep in this. We start deep in South Korea, and we go very deep underground, and we emerge out of this little hole in North Korea. And I'm kind of like a spy at this point, I guess, or like a spy or a tourist, or I'm just pretending to be observing the population, right? And I'm with a group of people too, so I'm not alone. So we exit this tunnel, and somehow we're not found out, and we blend in with everything. And we go to some village, and we meet a white girl, like a white person, like a European person there living in this village in North Korea. And so we're like, what the hell are you doing here? And we go into her house, and it was barren. There was like almost no furniture. It was just hollow. And we're looking at all the people around, and everyone is really thin and pale. And they all kind of have that same empty house with no furniture, just like this lady. So like we're asking her, and she's like, "Oh, I came here." I literally remember her response. She's like, "I came here because I believed in communism. So I came to live in North Korea." And I'm like, "Oh." But then she's like, "It's not what I thought it was going to be, though. It's not what I had hoped it would be." So we're like, "Okay, well, we're actually working here covertly, and we're here to rescue people because they're building this giant wall." And so we take her family, we take like 50 other people, and we go to the subway or something, some kind of metro, and we get off at a station, and we run back to this tunnel somehow, and we didn't get caught. And I think we made it out of the other side of the tunnel. I don't know. Everything became a blur after that, including some romantic stuff between me and this European girl. But that was kind of weird. Spying is the dying time in North Korea. I wouldn't want to be a spy in North Korea. Um, I don't even see, like, is it even possible? The place is just a total prison. Like, I don't know if you'd be able to get away with that. Like, remember, you have to bow down to the supreme leader statue, right? And every house has to have a portrait of the supreme leader. And it's like It is surreal, right? It is surreal. Like it's similar to the Soviet Union, but I think much worse. I think much worse than the Soviet Union, I think. Because according to my family, there was actually some benefits and some positive things about the Soviet Union, but it's really hard for me to imagine anything positive about North Korea, but I don't know. I mean, maybe there is. It's just strange to have this dream. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. Um, I do know that they did recently build that they did actually fortify their border with China recently. I don't know about South Korea, so that's pretty interesting. Um, and I do think they're going to attack the South soon, so we'll see.